Hey guys, welcome back to Susan Shares. Well, it's so good to be back with you again. It seems like it's been a really long time, yet it's only been a week. I spoke at a women's conference in Mississippi last weekend. Hey guys from Colonial Heights Baptist, it was wonderful to be with you. And then I spent a couple of days with a friend, and we heard our son playing his band Laney. But it's always good to be back home and be in routine. So I'm glad to be back today. Today, what we're going to talk about is what it's like to pray continually. You know, in 1 Thessalonians, it says very specifically to pray continually. Wow. Really, what does that mean? It sounds kind of exhausting, doesn't it? And some people get confused about what that is, but actually it's so freeing. I cannot tell you how freeing that is. But if you don't understand it, it doesn't sound freeing, but it is. And I want to talk about the practical side of it, and I want to talk about why people don't really understand it. Because when I was growing up from the church, what that meant was very confusing. Because like I said, when I was growing up, it's like you get up early in the morning and you have your quiet time, you read scripture, and then you pray, and then you're done. And that's kind of the way it was presented, very innocently, but that's the way it was presented. And those are disciplines of our faith, and that's wonderful, and I still do that. But praying continually throughout the day is staying connected to the vine, and that's what we must do, because there's also a passage in scripture that I memorized very quickly as I matured as a believer, and that's Galatians 5:16, which says, walk by the Spirit or you will carry out the desires of the flesh. Not maybe you will, but you will. So I'm going to say that again. Walk by the Spirit or you will carry out the desires of the flesh. And let me make something perfectly clear. Susan Gauls am nothing without Jesus. I mean nothing. Without him, nothing. I will mess up, screw up, whatever, say the wrong thing. I will mess it up without Jesus in the flesh. And so that's why I learned as I matured early on to pray continually, that I wanted to stay connected to the vine. And what does staying connected to the vine mean? And it means praying continually. Let me give you a practical example at work. And I think I've mentioned it before on Susan Shares even, but it bears repeating. At work, every time that I'm walking down the hall to go to get a client, and I'll use my name so it won't mess anything up, so nobody will think I'm calling anybody out, but I'll use my own name, Susan. If I'm going, and my husband's name is Steve, so I'll use his name too. If I'm going to get an individual, Susan, or if I'm going to get a couple, Susan and Steve, let's say, I always say, God, what do you want to say to Susan today as an individual? If I were going to go get Susan and Steve, I would say, God, what do you want to say to Susan and Steve today? What that does immediately is it takes me out of the equation. Oh, I am the therapist that's going to be doing, that's in the room, but it takes me out of the equation. It opens me up to be a vessel for him to use. And it is so freeing. And it is so purposeful. On purpose. I want him to speak through me. I have the knowledge base, yes, but I'm asking him to use what all that knowledge is to specifically for that couple, for that individual, for him to do very creatively what he needs to do. He may pull out something I don't know, but that's all God. And I'm telling you, I get goosebumps about to tell you what I'm about to tell you. I'm telling you, always, not sometimes, but always, a client will come back, or a couple will come back and say, Susan, it meant the world to us what you said, and it meant the world to us, and we've already implemented something that you've already said, or whatever they say, that I have I will say in my mind, I said that? Me? I said that? And I know then that it was God that gave me those words. Of course it was me that said it, but it was God using this empty, broken vessel that asked to be poured out. God, my lips are moving, yes, but it's you that came out. So much so that I have no recall that I said that. I'll be after they leave, I'll be looking through my progress notes. No, didn't have that down because I have no memory of it. So that just, again, gives me goosebumps. That was the Spirit speaking to that couple or that individual what they needed at that moment. So I was out of the equation. That's what I mean by that. That is called praying that's called praying continually. That's praying in the Spirit. That's getting me out of the way. But we have to be available like that. So that can be in any relationship. You may see something that needs fixing in your family or any relationship, but God may say, no, it's not your job to fix it, it's mine. So are you going to allow me to do that through you? And maybe I just want you to pray for them. And maybe there's some more work that they need to do before I intervene. We don't know unless we're praying continually. Boy, that's a big lesson I've learned. Maybe I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut and let him do some work, and maybe God's saying, slow down, Susan, and then I'll let you know when I want you to intervene. These are all big lessons, and that we have to learn. But praying continually is staying connected to the vine. Staying connected to the vine. So where are you on staying connected to the vine? Because that's praying continually. Have a great day. It's great to be back with you. Love you.